Okay, students, let us continue our discussion on the problems of electric charges and fields. Question number 5, page number 36. I'll be reading the question, follow it in the book. 4 points, 4-point charges. QA is equal to 2 microcoulomb, QB is equal to minus 5 microcoulomb, QC is equal to 2 microcoulomb, and QD is equal to minus 5 microcoulomb are located at the 4 corners of a square ABCD of side 10 centimeter. What is the force on a charge of 1 microcoulomb placed at the center of the square? So, according to the given problem, we have a square shaped structure where 4 charges are kept at the vertices of this square. The vertices are named as A, B, C and D. According to the given data, at the vertex A, you have 2 microcoulomb charge kept, and at B, you have minus 5 microcoulomb charge kept, and at C, it's 2 microcoulomb again, and at D, it's minus 5 microcoulomb. Now, this is a square of side 10 centimeter, right? This is what is the given data. So, all of this AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DA is equal to 10 centimeter. Now, the question is, what is the force on a charge of 1 microcoulomb placed at the center of the square? Here, exactly at the center of the square, we have 1 microcoulomb charge kept, and now we need to find what is the net force experienced by this 1 microcoulomb charge. Before that, before actually going into the problem, let me write all the given data. So, we have totally 5 charges, and we need to find the total force on the charge kept at the center of this square. So, that charge will experience 4 forces from all the 4 charges surrounding the charge. Now, according to the given data, QA is 2 micro is 10 to the power of minus 6 coulomb. QB is also given, which is minus 5 into 10 to the power of minus 6 coulomb, and QC is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 coulomb again. QD is minus 5 micro into 10 to the power of minus 6 coulomb. Now, from the principle of superposition, the net force experienced by this charge at the center will be the vector sum of all the forces due to individual charges. The net force is the vector sum of individual charges. How many forces does this charge experience? 4 forces. One from D and the other from C, the one from B and A. Okay, what kind of force will be there due to the charge A? Now, you see, at the point A, you have a positive charge, and here the charge at the center, which can be considered as a test charge, now is also at the center. It's also positive. So, it's the charge at the vertex A is also positive, and at the center is also positive. So, they will repel each other. So, due to this charge A, this charge at the center O will experience a repulsive force, which means this charge will be pushed away due to this charge at the vertex A, right, in this direction. And due to this minus 5 microcoulomb, this charge will be pulled towards this, because unlike charges attract each other. Here, like charges repel each other. So, let me call this force as FA. This is force due to charge at A, which is pushing the charge from the center towards C, like this, because they repel each other. And here, this charge at B is actually attracting this towards it. So, it is FB, which is in this direction and attracting it like this. How about D? Yeah, that's also minus 5 microcoulomb, so it will also attract. And this is how it attracts. It is FD This is the direction of FD, which is exactly opposite to that of FB. Charge B is pulling O like this, and charge D is pulling O like this, and charge A is pushing O like this, and charge C is again a positive one. So positive positive like charges, they repel each other. So due to this charge at C, this charge at O will experience repulsion in this direction. So this will be the direction of C. Now they actually lie on the diagonals of the square. Now what we have come to know is FA is exactly opposite to that of FC, and FB is exactly opposite to that of FD. Now let us see what are all these forces in magnitude, because these are the directions of these forces, 4 forces, and we have direction of all those 4 forces. Now how about the magnitude of these 4 forces? The first force, let me take FA. Once it's always suggested to write the general formula, then go for finding individual forces. General formula for the force between two charges is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Yeah, again they have not mentioned the medium, so we are assuming it as air, and it's only 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R squared or D squared. Fine. So now this is the general formula, and what we need is 4 different forces due to 4 charges present here. So net force is given by F is equal to vector sum of FA plus FB plus FC plus FD. Now let us find FA, FB, FC, FD, or I can now replace this vector addition using their corresponding symbols. Look at FA and FC. Let me bring them together. Okay. So FA plus FC plus FB plus FD. I am writing this in this way so that the final answer I get is can be easily obtainable, because now A and C are exactly opposite to each other. So vector sum of them will be the difference between these two magnitudes. Following? So since A and C are opposite to each other, the vector sum of these two forces is actually the difference of them. You know this, we have studied this in the previous year itself. When you have two forces acting on a body, one force pulling it like this, the other force pulling it like this, the net force will be difference of these two forces. And it's the same even when it comes to pushing forces, like one force pushing an object like this, the other force pushing the object exactly opposite to that of that, then the net force on this body is the difference of these two forces. So since the forces are exactly opposite to each other here and here, I have taken them initially, I have grouped them as one. These are opposite and these are opposite. Now let me go for finding magnitude of these individual forces. Now coming to the magnitude of individual forces, FA, let me work for the magnitude of FA. 1 by 4 pi, since once you have written the formula, that would be enough for you. You can directly put the values here. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into, what is the value of Q1? Now we are finding the force FA on the charge at O. So these two are the charges which has to be considered, one at A, the other at O. Okay, this force is what we are finding, and these two are the charges which are responsible for this force. So one charge is here, which is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into the other charge is here, which is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 6 divided by, okay, now coming for the distance between them. See, it's a square of side 10 centimeter. So the diagonal will be 10 root 2. Put Pythagoras theorem, you will get it. Okay, and this part, half of the diagonal will be 10 by root 2. Okay, the complete diagonal of the square will be 10 root 2, and half of that diagonal, which is the distance from center to a particular vertex, to any vertex of the square, is 10 by root 2. Now that is the distance, but it's in centimeter. We need to convert it into meter, which is the SI unit. So R, the distance of separation, or D, small d is also fine, is going to be 10 by root 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. So here it is 10 into 10 power minus 2, 10 power minus 1, 10 power minus 1 by root 2 whole squared, r squared. Okay. Now upon simplifying this, it's 9 into 2 into 1, okay, which is 18 into 10 to the power of 9 minus 6 minus 6, 6 plus 6 12, 12 minus 9 3, minus 12 plus 9 it is, so it is minus 3, divided by root to the whole squared is 2, comes to the numerator, becomes as 2, and what lies in the denominator is 10 to the power of minus 2. Simplify this, you will have the force due to charge A on charge O, which is 18 to the 36 into 10 to the power of minus 1, closely 3.1 Newton. Yeah, this is 3.1 Newton. Sorry, 18 to the 36, 3.6 Newton, because 36 into 10 to the power of minus 1 it will be. And similarly, you can work for the force due to other charges, Fc, Fb and Fd. Okay, you will get different values. I am not going to simplify them, you should simplify and put them. I will directly write the value of Fc, Fv, Fa and all. So Fc, a magnitude of Fc will be equal to that of Fa, which is 3.6 Newton, and Fb will be force due to charge B. This one will be, see, instead of this 2 you will have 5. So it is going to be 9 5 is 45 here instead of 18. So 45 to the 90. So it's 9 into or I can it's simply 9 Newton. Okay, 9 Newton is the charge due to force due to charge B. Similarly, Fd is also equal to 9 Newton. So now you have all the 4 forces acting on the charge at the center. Okay. In the given book, you might not find all this detailed solution given, but it's always suggested to do it in this way, because in the solution given in the book, you can see that the answer is given in a descriptive way, where they have taken into the consideration that the distance between them, distance between the charges is same. I mean to say, distance between OA and OC is same, distance between OB and OD is same, and the charge present at charge present at A and C are equal. So after simplifying that into the formula, you can observe that this charge A will push this charge O in this direction with a force which is exactly equal to that of the force generated by this C on this O. Okay. So both charge A and charge C are pushing this charge like this with the equal amount of force. So they are applying equal amount of force. Once a body experiences equal and opposite force, no motion or no net force. So plus F minus F cancel each other, it's 0, right? And that is what happens even here. So vector sum of Fa and Fc, which we will continue now. So the net force F is equal to, now I am targeting the magnitude of net force. So Fa plus Fc is actually Fa minus Fa itself, because Fa is equal to Fc in magnitude, right? 3.6 Newton, 3.6 Newton, and are opposite to each other. So I can take them as FA minus FA itself, because FC is minus FA. Why minus? Because it's exactly in the opposite direction. That is why the minus. Or physically assuming it, both C and A are pushing this charge like this, because they both of them are repelling. So with the equal amount of force, so the net force will be 0 due to them, plus. And the same way here, this charge at the center O are pulled by these charges D and B like this with equal amount of forces. Again 9 Newton, 9 Newton. So both of them are pulling this charge with the equal amount of force. So the net force due to these two charges, okay, net force due to these two charges on this charge O will be FB minus FB. Why? Because FD is equal to minus FB. It's the magnitude of them are same, okay, 9 Newton, 9 Newton. But when it comes to vector addition, one 9 Newton is in this direction, the other 9 Newton is in this direction. So when you put them into vector form, or you can put them into the formula of R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, where theta becomes 180 degree, right? The angle is 180 degree. So they are actually opposite to each other, and hence finally it becomes FB minus FB. They are equal in magnitude. That's why. So they cancel 0, 0. So the net force experienced by the charge at the center of the square is 0 Newton. Got it? So yeah, in the book you don't have this detailed explanation, but it's always good to go for numerical simplification, then finally put the formula. Okay, this is the best way, and nowhere you can lose the mark, because when it comes to giving the answer in a descriptive way, you might forget to put some important points while writing it descriptive. But when it comes to numerical solution, you can only obtain the final answer if you have solved everything properly. So it's always suggested to go with the numerical approach. This is good, and solve each of this individually. I have not solved them in the same way. Do two more steps like this and solve individually, then get the final answer for the net force experienced by the charge at the center of the square. Is that clear? Right. Okay, next going for the sixth problem. Very easy problem. Yeah, there is a possibility of asking this question for 2 mark. Calculate the force acting on a point charge plus 4 nanocoulomb placed in an electric field of intensity 7 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per coulomb. So you have a charge placed in an external electric field. Okay, so you have an external electric field present already in a region. This field may be due to a charge which is situated somewhere there, or some negative charge situated there, and what you have is a charge placed in this electric field. Okay, so the value of electric field given E is equal to, it is 7 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per coulomb, right? And the charge that is kept in this field is plus 4 nanocoulomb. Okay, nano is 10 to the power of minus 9. This is the amount of charge kept, and that is the field in which the charge is kept. Obviously, the force, direction of force, since we ourselves has assumed that the electric field is in this direction, because it might be in the opposite direction, it's not that important. The direction of electric field is not important as of this problem is concerned, because they have not mentioned anything regarding the direction of field, so we can choose our random direction. That's fine. Now the net force experienced by this due to this field, because there are no other charges, only the field present, it's very simple formula, F is equal to EQ. Okay, and the direction will be same as of the external electric field. If the charge given is negative, then the force will be opposite to that of the direction of electric field. Now since the charge given is positive, the direction of force is same as that of the electric field. You can keep that much in mind, that would be enough. Now going for the magnitude of force acting, quite easy, product of these two, E is 7 into 10 to the power of 5 into Q is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 9, which is, can simplify, 7 4 is 28 into 10 to the power of minus 9 plus 5 minus 4 Newton. Okay. This is the net force experienced by this charge due to this electric field. Okay, now question number 7. How many electrons have to be removed from a metal sphere, okay, such that it acquires a charge of 6 nanocoulomb? This is the first part of the question. The second part, calculate the electric intensity at a point 0.06 meter from the center of the charged sphere when it is placed in vacuum. So now you have a metal sphere, and this metal sphere has to be charged. This metal sphere has to be charged to 6 nanocoulomb. 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb is the charge that has to be charged with for this metal sphere given. Now the question is, what is the number of electrons that has to be removed? Obviously the kind of charging that we are doing is positive charging, right? This sphere is now to be charged positively, so we need to remove the electrons in order to charge a sphere positively. If it is negative, then we should have added extra electrons. So this number of electrons which should be removed from that in order to charge the sphere to this charge, this amount shall be found now. So N has to be found. E, charge of each electron, is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. So once again, very simple formula. Total charge that you can do is N, number of electrons you can remove, into charge associated with each electron. So if you remove one electron, this much of charge is accumulated by that sphere. If you remove 2, it is 2 times of this. If you remove 3, it is 3 times of this. Now you need to charge the sphere to this large amount of charge, 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb. How many electrons has to be removed? That is calculated now. So from this formula, N becomes equal to Q by E. Q is 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9, and E is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Simplify this and you will have the number of electrons which is equal to 3.75 into 10 to the power of 10. So these many electrons has to be removed from the metal sphere so that it charges to the value of 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb. And this is the answer for first part of the question. Now we need to find the electric field, okay, at a point situated at 0.06 meter from the center of this sphere. So one thing is clear, if I remove 3.75 into 10 to the power of 10 electrons from this sphere, it will get charged to 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb. Okay, it has charged. Now this charged sphere will obviously have its own electric field surrounding it, right? In fact, if you want to draw it, it's actually radially outward because it's positively charged. Now I want electric field at a point 0.06 meter from the center of this charged sphere. So at this position, okay, electric field has to be found at this position. So the formula for electric field, as you know, is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Why epsilon naught directly? Because we know that the given medium is vacuum. When the given medium is vacuum, epsilon is directly taken as epsilon naught. and E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R squared. Now 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into the charge is this and the distance is this. Charge is 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb, and the distance from here to here, it's 0.06 meter, which I can write it as 6 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole squared. Simplify this using the calculator. Okay, 9 6 or you can do it as it's quite easy, 9 into 6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 plus 9 cancels, okay, 0. Then 6 squared 36 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole squared minus 4. 6 ones are 6 6 are 3 3s are 3 2s are 3 by 2, which is 1.5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 goes to the numerator, becomes plus 4. Okay, so it's 1.5 into 10 to the power of, what is the SI unit of electric field? It's Newton per coulomb. So this is the electric field at this point, which is 0.06 meter from the center of the given charge or given spherical body, which is charged after removing the electrons. Both the parts of the question are answered now.